Hi everybody, welcome to Walker's Guide and welcome to day 12 of 30 Days of Wild, and it is a beautiful evening. It's about 6 o'clock and I'm still in shorts and t-shirt. I mean, I'm wearing a jacket just because the mozzies are starting to wake up. And today we're talking about another tree or shrub. When does a tree become a shrub or a shrub become a tree? I don't really know. I don't think this is a tree actually. This is one of our hedge species. So it could be a tree. This is quite a large hedge, quite a nice hedge, and it's made up of a few different species, but the main one is the one I want to talk about tonight. The main one is this, the hawthorn. We have two native types of hawthorn in the UK, common hawthorn and the Midland hawthorn, and this is common hawthorn, Crataegus monogyna. Crataegus, it's hawthorn, monogyna means single seed. The reason it's called single seed is because it has a single seed in its flower or in its berry. Traditionally, they had lots of uses. One of them was for clearing milk because they have a real fur inside the berry that will grab hair as it goes through. But let's have another little look and see what else we can see to do with them. The leaf is kind of unique. It's a almost palmate leaf. That means hand-shaped, but it has deep cuts to it, really deep. Other ID points are the berries. These will go bright red. They're actually called haws, Haws. And that's what leads to part of its name. It's hawthorn. The haw being the berry and the thorn being the spiky thorns that the tree has all over it. They're quite nasty. There's one just there. It has other names. Well, the single seed hawthorn being one of them, quickthorn, and the May tree. So why are they called the May tree? Well, its name is as complicated as it sounds. They flower in May, and as such they got the nickname the May tree. Now, there was a book written a long time ago, well, a fairly long time ago, called The Darling Buds of May. Now it makes sense, right? That's where the name comes from, the May tree, the hawthorn. Traditional uses for it? Well, medical. The berries and the juice of the berries was said to help alleviate bladder disorders and heart issues, and even help with digestive issues. But then again, in the olden days, basically everything was said to help with digestive issues, even poisons. And speaking of poisons, the seeds, like a lot of plants, yeah, they're full of cyanide. Seeds have cyanide in. Same as apple tree seeds, pear seeds, cherry pips, all have cyanide in. The idea of fruit is to be eaten, but the idea of seeds is to not be eaten. The idea is an animal will eat this fruit and digest it, and then when it goes and defecates later on, kids, if you don't defecate, it means make poo-poo. I don't know if that whisper will have picked up, so I'm going to have to again. Kids, if you don't know what that defecate means, it means make poo-poo. They're going to defecate later. Those seeds are already in fertile soil or fertilizer that's going to help them to grow. But you don't want the seeds themselves being chewed, so you put cyanide in them because it makes them taste bitter, and if the animal chews it too much, well, they learn quite quickly. There has been research being done into the hawthorn. Even now, even a few years ago, the FDA in America were researching into whether or not it could be used as an anxiety medication. There's no evidence as of yet that it's any good for that, but they're researching it. So where will you find the hawthorn? Well, as I've said, it's a hedge tree. It will be found on the edge of fields, like here. I've just walked a little bit further on down this footpath, and here's a lovely little row of them. Now, hedgerows are really important environments. They are full of insect homes. The bats use them as superhighways, and they actually learn where to go from one place to another. And unfortunately, we have very few compared to how many we used to have. The countryside used to be covered in hedgerows, but unfortunately, technology happened. Yep. I'm talking about tractors. After World War One and then World War Two, when a lot of the horses disappeared and then a lot of the men disappeared, a lot of the fields increased in size. Tractors meant that a field that used to be 3, 4, 5 fields, because that's how much you could cope with in a couple of days, quadrupled. They would take fields and they would rip out with big tractors and big equipment these lovely hedgerows, and you'd end up with huge fields, which is quite sad really, because it meant you then need to use more chemicals to control what's growing on that field. I'm just watching a heron. So that is Crataegus monogyna, the hawthorn, the quickthorn, the may tree. Big ID point is its flower comes out in May. Its leaves are those deeply lobed, quite weird leaves actually, and its berries are bright red at the right time with a single large seed. But that is all for today. That's all for day 12 of 30 Days Wild, and I'll hopefully see you again tomorrow for day 13. Oh, if you haven't done so already and you've enjoyed this video, just stick us a like, and maybe if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, maybe subscribe. I don't expect you to, but hey, if you're enjoying it, what can you lose? And that's all for today, so I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.